Well, good evening. I guess I should say good evening. I was about to say good morning, but good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening. We're going to kick it off with we do four square conversation. We do what we call four square conversation. We have four different topics, and we talk about each one of them for 30 minutes apiece. Sometimes we do it, though we do have four topics. Sometimes we get to one, sometimes we get to two, sometimes we get to all four, but it's based on how the conversation is going and where we ended up on multitasking. So y'all bear with me for a second. There we go. Got everything ready. Now, before I go another step further, I got to take this opportunity right now and let the two gentlemen that's here with me right now introduce themselves. We're going to go to the phone line first. Captain Leonard, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
What's going on, Raheem? This is Leonard Jones with New Order, National Human Rights Organization, calling from Covington, Georgia.
Covington, Georgia. Good deal. And we have Don with us. Don, tell everybody where y'all how you doing this evening.
Hey, this is Don, Atlanta, Georgia.
Good deal. Good deal. We got what we call four square conversation. We got four square conversations, and we're gonna kick it off with this first square. This is an easy one right here. This is gonna be easy. This is gonna be real easy. We're gonna start light today, y'all. Don, let me ask you this question. A young Don in your early 20s, early 20s to 30s. Okay. What makes her your type? What makes her your type? When you're out there from 20 to maybe 30 and you're looking for someone, what makes her your type?
Oh wow! I at first I thought you was saying I was in my young 20s, early 30s. I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Yes,
But
sir.
as a man that has a wife,
Mm-hmm.
back then I was always looking for something mature, looking for something that somebody who had patience and who could grow and build,
Mm-hmm.
someone who would comprehend and listen, um, as well as be able to be a good advisor. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, finding that power couple. There's some fun times, and then there's times when you just got to get serious.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you this. I know, and I could preface it by saying this. I know myself at that young age. At that young age, I didn't always make the right decisions. I didn't always pick the right individuals for me at that young. We don't talk about who I am now or who you are now. Maturity sets in and it teaches us. But as a young man, did you make the right decisions? Come on,
there's a
brother.
lot of there's a lot of learning curves, brother. There was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
learning curves, but I kept it close to the cross. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's for me it's always been keeping it close enough because accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
My goal has been always to break cycles, and growing up where I came from, I saw relationships and around me not be as successful or broken homes or whatever, and I just didn't want that stigma. So what I commonly saw was toxic relationships, and it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't seem productive. It didn't even seem fun. It didn't seem like they enjoyed it. So my goal was to get with somebody that I enjoyed, at least
Mm-hmm.
on that enjoyment level. And even then, it was like vetting out people for the long haul. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had some learning curves. I witnessed, had to get a good feel for who I like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
who
yeah.
in developing who I was, So like
Mm-hmm.
during that time, you still don't know who you are. So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, yeah, you absolutely are discovering new things about yourself, but you're interviewing people
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of see who they are, because not everyone thinks like you. Women
Mm-hmm.
thinks with like five different brains. So so you're gonna run across a lot of personalities, brother. And you just gotta
Mm-hmm.
be be able to sit back and listen and watch and see, what does that mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you make some mistakes, but if you are smart, you'll try to you'll try to fail forward, basically, meaning that if you stay close to a nice baseline, know what
Mm-hmm.
you like, know what you can tolerate. Um, if it doesn't work out, it was amicable. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was a good experience. It was a learning experience, and it's something
Mm-hmm.
you grow from. So many
Exactly.
times people get into relationships where it's just like they got drama, they get locked up, they life issues.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so yeah, it
That's good.
happens, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Captain Leonard.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got to ask you the question. A young Leonard. And I think at that age, at 20, 20 to 25, maybe even 30, I think you was in the military. And with you being in the military and traveling the world, what is it? What type made her at that time, at that age, your type?
Well, I was trying to get ready because when you had asked the question, you kind of threw me off, like you just explained it.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to explain it again. Now, am I asking because it sounds like the last brother was talking about what he learned from his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
But did you ask something about her? Who was her?
Yeah. What makes the young lady, that you select at that particular time in your life? What makes her your type? It had to be something about her that made her your type at that particular time. What was it that attracted you to her to make her your type?
I don't have a type. I think it's the easy going. I'm an easy going person. I
Mm-hmm.
like a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I like more good times, bad times. So if it's easy going, that's that's the type, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I was trying to figure out from what point of view was this question
Mm-hmm.
coming from. But a
Mm-hmm.
very simple fact is, how would you know from that angle, like your type or what have you? Because it's not like I was looking for something in particular,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I see where you're going. Okay. I see where you're going.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think it was what happened because it should have.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It wasn't no like trying not to or what have you, because I didn't even really believe in, I've been grown for a long time, so I don't really play a lot of games like that. But
Mm-hmm. But Leonard,
especially with bouncing around quotes.
but Leonard, don't everybody have a quote unquote type though, a type of person, and not necessarily saying that it's the right or wrong, because you could be going for the same type, and why you keep falling into the same position and the same hurt because you're going for a certain type. So don't everybody have a type or preference, if you will?
Well, I guess it would be good for someone who actually has a type to
Mm-hmm.
say that, because I don't know very many men, like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like you have to have this or that. I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember because I've never been a type driven person.
Okay.
It's the time that's spent together, the quality of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
could care less the type I like. The type I like is going to be one I want to spend the time with, cool, laid back type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like you can sit there and just I don't know how y'all do it these days, but I never was just overly concerned with
Mm-hmm.
that type. Now, if you just look out for something to eat that night, that's different. You just ordering up like Chinese. I had some Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I got
Because I wasn't, at that age.
you. Mm-hmm.
I think I had been married. I had been married by then, Ryan.
By 20? By age 20?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no, I
Okay.
wasn't married. And then again, oh, definitely no, no, not at all. Oh no, there was no type. No,
Okay. Got you. Got you.
it's just a good time is when you find it. It ain't got to be no type.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And let
It's
me
for a little while anyway.
exactly. I'm gonna go to the phone lines, and I'm also gonna open up the phone lines. So if anybody want to be a part of the conversation, you're more than welcome to give us a call. This is Real Men Being Men. The phone number is 508-924-3521. 508 508-924-3521. Again, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Going to the phone line, Cornelius. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, doing good, brother. Tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cornelius, Elder Cornelius Love, originally from Detroit, Michigan, now residing in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Now, Cornelius, at age 20, between ages of 20 and 25, maybe 30, you're out there. Now, you're at that age now. You're at that age right now. Now, I'm asking the question. You meet this young lady, and you like this young lady, but Cornelius, what makes her your type? What is that preference? What is that she have to have that make her, quote unquote, your type?
We on Real Men Being Men, right?
Yes, sir.
We gonna keep it 100, right?
Come on, let's do it.
And I'm. You go back then. I'm not talking about my same life now.
Exactly. Come on.
I'm just going. I'm gonna go back when those days. I'm taking back.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't have a type then. I was just a squirrel trying to get a you know what.
Yeah. Okay.
So in saying that was my focus then. So I really didn't have a type.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I didn't care if they were black, white, Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, white and Caucasian. Japanese, Chinese, Mexican, whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about no race, creed, or color. It was just all about trying to hook up with different women that I could hook up with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in those days, when my favorite song at that time came out was Sir Mix-a-Lot. When you know what song I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of his songs was, he said, "With some Debo James in the magazine, you ain't in this thing. Give me a sister, I can't resist her."
Yes, exactly.
But he also said this, that where he like them 36, 24, 36.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, that was my type as far as the body size.
Okay.
But my child's mother was slim.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was willing to go there with me. And different things like that. But I did prefer a woman with a or as Bell Biv DeVoe used to say, a big button smile.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
So in those times, yes, that's how my mindset was.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just lets you know, when I say all that, I was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't settled in my mind. I'd rather have this in one way, and I have this in another way. So it was just women, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't have a type.
Good
So
deal.
that's just my
Good deal. And this is Real Men Being Men, but I got my baby girl here. Mary, are you there? Mary.
Oh man, your daughter was on. Oh. Man, don't pay attention to me. That was just me then.
They were back in the day. That ain't now. No, they were back in the day. But Mary, what do you think? What makes a person your type, Mary? If you're at the age range that we're talking about right now. So what makes a person your type?
I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. Elijah's not my type, so I don't know what my type is.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't. Yeah, he's not what I thought I was gonna be with.
Mm-hmm.
But it works.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody really has. I mean, I think everybody has a preference. I don't think everybody sits out here with no preference. But I don't know if I have a specific type as far as if you don't have this and I can't be with you. But I have things that you have to have. Does that make sense? Like you have to be smart. I don't want to be with a person I can't have conversation with.
Exactly.
We have to have some type of chemistry. Other than that, pretty much free game with me. I thought I had a type, and looks like God had another plan for me.
There you go. Hey, that's what it's all about right there. Don, what's on your heart, brother? And she brought in preference, and that's what it is. When we talk about a type, we're really talking about preference.
Yeah, now that's a that's a rabbit hole right there. Yeah, like that could be a lot. I mean, if you check my track record, you'll see some common things, but I never like the mean girl or whatever. They had to be friendly. Back then, like 22, I was, you know, it was very ignorant, but it was more so an insecurity at the time. You know, previous relationship, mileage. It's like the Kelly Blue Book of women. You know what I mean? So there's that part of it. And then also the insecurities within myself. I was falling for the red bone. You know, I had some prerequisites. You know, didn't want a girl who had, you know, a lot of bad credit. Wasn't really checking for a girl who already had kids at the time. A lot of, you know, just different kind of standards, you know. So those preferences at that time morphed and gradually grew as I, you know, matured and kind of got a chance to see what was all out there. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it really, you know, for guys, it doesn't really, the attract, as long as that attraction is there, that initial attraction is there, we try to discover more about you along the way. And, you know, if it's real, then we'll gradually make exceptions. And then, you know, you just got to be, you know, not bumping heads, I guess. But yeah, man. Yeah, I had some very ignorant preferences earlier on. But I mean, yeah, it worked out though. It worked out though.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing, we all do. We all have those certain preferences that we think we want. We think is right for us. And we bump our head over and over and over again. I'm gonna call this. We got two Dons, so I'm gonna call this young man here, Carlos. Mr. Carlos. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Carlos, can you hear me? Carlos may not have a sound. Carlos looking at me like he can't hear me. Carlos, can you hear me?
Yeah, that video though.
Yeah, exactly. Don, can you hear me? Carlos. Let me go while he's getting, I think he's working on his system here. I think he's working on the system. So we'll get back to Carlos in just a second or two. Now, Leonard, what have you ever been in, because I know some people, and I don't know this to be true or false, but have you ever liked the bad girl? The one that had the attitude. LLC, I like a girl with an attitude, bend the bag and attitude and all that. Have you ever liked the bad girl?
No, I don't have that type of patience. You know, I'm not really, you know, all that stuff y'all talking about now. As far as, you know, how Brother Cornelius was able to match it to a song or this or whatever, you know, man, just put some bait on the hook, period. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal to me. Or what? Or was it then? It's like it has to be a good time. When you say bad girl, that to me, what she do? She rob banks? What she do?
No, just have you know, some people just have that attitude, attitude about herself. And
oh,
she,
that little sad.
Yes, sir.
Ratchet.
I can't even remember it like that, right? Really? You're talking about younger, when we were younger, like 20,
yes,
early 20s.
Yes, absolutely.
No, man, I don't like that immaturity type thing. To me, that's immature. So that lets me know, you know, you kind of, you know, that whole, like you say, that bad girl, that real emotional kind of stuff. No, I ain't never been attracted to that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm at to call this show here the Three Dons, man. I'm at to call this.
All right, done.
I'm at to call it the Three Dons and Raheem up at the top corner up there. The Three Dons. Let me go to Tucson. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Tucson, unmute yourself, sir. See, we got two Dons don't know how to work their equipment there. We got to work with these. There you go. Tucson, tell everybody who you are. Tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
What I had said was, you trying to get somebody killed.
Come on now.
Can you hear me?
Come on. I just want to know, man, and I'm asking a question. I'm prefacing in a way that's not going to get you killed because I'm saying back when you was 20, 25, maybe even 30 years old.
What do you want, man?
What made her your type when in your 20s, brother? In your 20s, not now. In your 20s, what made her your type?
Stupid.
Huh?
Man, we got some bad reception. Okay. I got some bad reception.
Yeah. What'd you say? What was it? Tucson, can you hear me?
I was stupid.
Oh, you. His brother said he was stupid. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stupid.
But don't we all at that age? We all have some of that in us, though. We all have some of that stupidity in us at that age. So what is it? What is it that And we look at the young lady, and had to be something about her that made us. Okay, good. We got you on the phone line there, Tucson. I can hear you better. Good. I'm gonna take you off here. Talk to me, Tucson. What did you say?
Yeah, what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying was stupid. Stuck on stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, see, like I think somebody said it. We compared it to the song we heard. She's a brick house. 36-24, 36. What a winning hand. And
hey, Leonard, what is really going on right now, Leonard? What is really going on right now, man?
Come to find out
mm-hmm.
that was a losing hand.
Wow. Carlos, let me come to you, brother. Carlos, can I hear you? Say something to me, Carlos. Carlos, we can't hear you, brother. Let's go back to Cornelius. Cornelius, talk to me, brother. Now we in our 20s, we all bumped our head many times because like Tucson said, we were stuck on stupid, riding on dumb on our way to ignorant. This is what we were. Now, what is it about her? Now, better yet, did you like that naughty girl? Did you like the girl that had a little attitude? Did you like her, Cornelius?
You know what? Not really. I never was a drama type person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like, and I thank God that me and my wife is that way now. She's not drama. Like I said, I've been married going on 8 years now, and we haven't never had an argument. I'm so blessed to say that,
mm-hmm.
and trying to keep it that way too.
Yes, sir.
But in the same token, during that time, man, I didn't like the sassy type women,
mm-hmm.
you know,
mm-hmm.
and different things like that, and argumentative. But unfortunately, I had a couple over the years. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I was drawn to them
mm-hmm.
because my friends used to call me back in the day, because I used to have a lot of female friends as well, and they used to call me Captain Favor H.O.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always call myself trying to help these women, trying to love on the wrong type of women.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up in a lot of drama, and that was not good for me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, and during those times in my life, you know, and you had dealing with those type of women that would take advantage of you because of that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you
sir.
know, and try to be there for them, and they use you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in the drama field, they don't want to cry if you don't want to help them. Do you feel bad? Do you go there? It causes a lot of issues, you know,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for you personally.
Yeah.
You know, so, but in all actuality, I didn't really care too much for them. I just was drawn to them. Like even that, because what I said earlier, I was a squirrel out there doing what I was doing. But in the same token, like I would mess with the women that was weed heads, smoked a lot of weed. You know, they like to turn up the blunt. You know, all that stuff. And during that time, they were easy because all they was doing was just getting high and wanted to have sex. So at that time in my life, man, I didn't care. You know, I wanted to help them, but at the same token, they were easy because they was a bunch of weed heads. They got drunk. You know, drink a lot of liquor and beer and all that stuff. You know, that's the stuff that I was into back then. You know, and I look back now and I'm just like, boy, I was an idiot dealing with that type of thing. But you know, it takes time of wisdom and growth and mature level of a man and different things like that. You know, so yeah, that's basically what it was for me. But the women that were sassy and stuff, now I didn't skip on, but I kept falling into that trap. So.
Okay. Now, Carlos, can I hear you, brother?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm calling you, Carlos. We got 4 different Dons on here, so I'm
okay. I figured out after we got through that you. I'm sorry. I got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, what is your question, sir?
Now, in your 20s and in your 30s, in your 20s and 30s, what is it that made her the young lady that you selected, the preference that you had? What is it that made her your type? What was your type?
You talking about the one that I married?
No, the woman that you was with in your 20s, way on back in your 20s. We gotta take you way on back, brother. We turning back the hands of times. We're going back. We're going to the 20s when you was in your 20s.
Gotcha. Well, you know, let me just say it like this: everybody's experience is different. Mine was I was looking for down to earth, you know, attractive, easy to talk to, you know, someone who I could deal with, you know what I'm talking about? And so I actually got married in my 20s, in my early 20s. I was married by 24. And so the woman that I chose had wonderful qualities, godly qualities. I was a Christian at the time, and so was she. You know, and I'm not putting that up there as like that's the end all and be all, but that was a situation. So I like music. She liked music. She was easy to talk to. She was a country girl. I'm a country boy. You know, and we just we even had ministry actually in common. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for that. You know, but so that's I might not have the regular story. You know, but that's my story. You're on mute. You on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, we can't hear you there, Raheem.
You're on mute, Raheem. Raheem, wake up and go to sleep. Yeah. Raheem, wake up and go to sleep.
You seem like you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
You're on mute.
We can't hear you. Okay. We can't hear you.
I think he's trying to fix it.
There we go. How about that? There we go. We have to figure out what's going on.
Hey, you know what I said, don't you?
Wake up and go to sleep. I heard you. Yeah, I heard.
I have so much satisfaction to say that.
you got me. I was like, man, why the world am I muted? Okay, but let me. We got one more minute before we go to this. And let me go to Mary. Mary, what do you have to say to this?
To what?
What makes a person's type their preference, their go-to?
I can't answer for somebody else's type.
But everybody do have a preference.
Right. I think everybody does have a preference. I don't know. I just feel like it depends on what that person expects, like what their idea was and what they expect from the other person. That's what they're not expecting gonna be like their preference. I don't really know how to answer that question.
I'm gonna go to Leonard because I've heard Leonard say this before, and let me say that I'm not even gonna put him on blast like that, but I heard somebody say, I like the ones that like me. Now I don't know who would have said something like that, but I heard somebody say, I like the one that.
I am so serious. I am so serious about that. I think that this relationship type of thing, Raheem, is so out of hand, especially such young ages. And you know, I never really had a real girlfriend or anything like that because I couldn't stand the thought of someone impacting my life that way. And I surely didn't want to get in the habit of being toxic with people or getting in and out of relationships and all that type of thing. So I just hung around nice females. If you like me, hey, I like you. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
We like each other.
I was never into that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So I like it. I like it easygoing. As far as I do mean that. If you like me, I'm probably gonna like you.
Exactly. Good deal.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything before we go to our next square? Okay.
You good.
Carlos, you got something? Unmute yourself, Carlos. There you go.
Yeah, okay. And I'll be honest, and I hope it doesn't hurt anybody's feeling or anything, not you men, but women, but the kind of woman like that was stuck on herself. Because even from high school, man, I ain't thinking about going that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I want somebody down to earth. And I have to admit, gentlemen, since you asked the question, I preferred beautiful chocolate women. Okay.
Hey, boy, he putting that preference out there now, boy. Give me some of that Nestle chocolate. Give me some of that Nestle chocolate. My God, that Nestle chocolate, I just stir it all up and.
Oh, Lord. I do want to say one quick thing, though.
Yes, sir.
If I may.
Absolutely.
I just I remember back in those days that I thought women prefer muscle. Guys that's cut and built. They love men with big muscles and big packs and all that stuff. And because I used to back then, that was my biggest thing. To get the women, I was just real hard. I mean, going 5 days a week. Busting out trying to build up my arms and doing a lot of sit-ups and pushes and all this stuff to get to the point to where I needed to get to. And then wearing the cut shirts, our powerhouse, back then I was living in Detroit. So our gym was the powerhouse.
Yes.
So I would go to the gym to style my powerhouse shirts and roll up the sleeves and trim up my body because I thought the women, and sure enough, it worked. And once I started getting them and doing what I was doing, to the point to where they were coming at me like, okay, this dude got a lot of them, and it was attracted to the physique and different things like that, so once I had got the muscles and started getting the girls, I started working out.
Yeah.
I like, I ain't kidding no more because it worked, but it is during those days and times, back in the early 90s, I noticed women will look and really pay attention. And even when I got into the church, once I got saved, I was working out. Went back to the gym working out. I was single, living a single life. And sure enough, I went back in working, and I was in the church, and I took off my jacket, and all the single sisters were looking at me. You like, okay, so it's that they prefer the muscle build type guys that even in, because you remember guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody was into that back then. I don't know what it is now, but back then it was more what they was into the muscle. So that's what I thought.
Good deal. Now we're gonna switch up. We're gonna go to our next topic. And again, the phone lines are open. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. 888-875-3521. Give us a call. Our second topic we're going to talk about tonight is, and I love this because I'm so curious to see the diversity of where we're going to go with this right here, with this particular question. Don, I'm coming to you first. What music captures you? What music captures you? And I know that we all, we all saved and stuff like that. So, but there's certain music that you listen to in certain times. So, for you, what music, Don, captures you?
This is gonna sound. Hello, which Don are you talking about?
You. I got Don. I got Don. I got Carlos, and I got two songs. It's other Don. So when I say Don, I'm talking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So, I grew up in a house where my mom, she would clean and play music in the background on her vinyls,
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
yeah.
it really, really was soulful music. My dad was more so Otis Redding, Al Green. My mom was more so a little bit of everything: Johnny Taylor, Fred House, Smokey Robinson, and Sam Cooke. And it must have stuck with me because it made me more conscious of music. So I would say right now, there's this guy named Jacob Banks. He
Mm-hmm.
is a real soulful brother. He actually have a concert February the 8th in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
that I might go to. I like stuff different. Jadena, he's a Caribbean artist, but it's real soulful. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you guys ever heard Classic Man. That's one of his earlier hits, but he has a lot of deep music, but it's also vibe. Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
good lounge type music. On the hip hop area, J. Cole definitely is one of my favorite artists. I
Mm-hmm.
love music that resonates and then have a melody to it, but shows a lot of versatility. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and being a DJ now, I just kind of have to listen to it all, and there's just so much music out there in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So you really have to be open. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, if I had to say, if I ever threw a party for myself, it
Mm-hmm.
will never be any of the stuff that I'm requested to play at all the gigs that I do. I do gigs every week.
Yeah.
I vibe with the music, but if
Mm-hmm.
it was just me, I'm playing my records.
Exactly.
My soulful stuff.
I was
Yeah,
listening
that's
to a series on radio, and LL Cool J, he got his own Rock the Bells.
Rock the
And
Bell. Yeah,
yeah, Rock the Bell, and they was interviewing him earlier, and he was saying how what he liked to do is go to all kind of different concerts. He said he'll go to a
yeah,
country concert. He said he don't necessarily know the music, but he said he just loved
yeah.
the vibe. He just have a different
It's a
vibe, and
vibe.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what it is. Let me go to Leonard, Captain Leonard. What music captures you, brother? What music? What is it that and everybody gonna say gospel music? So we throw that out there. We already got there. Let's talk about real music. What music captures you, Leonard?
Well, first of all, I'm critical with music. My favorite, I love jazz music.
Mm-hmm.
I love classical music as well. I played in bands. I've even played chamber music before,
Mm-hmm.
written and transposed parts with French horns and things like that. So I listen critically to jazz.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love anybody that ever attempted to do it. Just about, I enjoy it just that much. I listen to music constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I love Roy Ayers, Gil Scott-Heron, all the 70s cats. Anything with a message to me, and you put it with some great
Mm-hmm.
musicianship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like.
I like Brown too, man.
Course,
do you like Brown?
What's up? Say it again.
Do you like Brown? What's his name? The Brown. He played a guitar player. What's his name? What's his first name? Can't think of his first name right now, man. But he's a great guitarist.
You talking about Chris Brown?
Yeah, yes, sir. Ain't that who it is? The guitar player.
No, you're not talking about no Chris Brown.
No,
right. He messing with you, right?
Yeah, I know it ain't Chris Brown. Come on. Is it Les? It ain't Les Brown either. What's his name, man? I'm gonna look it up in a minute. But boy, y'all something. Y'all are something else.
I like it all, man. I'm really into the music. and I like to appreciate music. So like your boy, you said you listen to LL. Even though I came up through hip hop, I really enjoy hip hop as well.
Mm-hmm.
However, jazz music captures me because my background as a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing that replaces jazz for me. If everything else had to go away,
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I would want jazz to be left.
Okay. Norman Brown. That's his name, Norman Brown.
Oh, Norman Brown, definitely.
Yeah. I couldn't think of his name for nothing, man. But yeah, Norman Brown. That. Yeah, I love him and Grover Washington, man. That Mr. Magic. That's a classic.
I listen to that. That's playing in the background usually. Those types of.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let me go to Rico. Rico picking at me tonight, man. Rico, what I'm gonna do with you, bro?
I had to get you, man.
Good evening. How you doing this evening?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just getting in, trying to get settled. What's going on with everybody?
Hey, doing good. We're asking a question, man. Rico, and I know you have a music background as well. So let me ask you the question, man. What music captures you?
Mainly, man, it has to be very musical.
Mm-hmm.
First off,
mm-hmm.
I heard what Leonard said about the classical music, man. You'd be surprised, man. I like opera. I like Pavarotti.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You know, sometimes you can listen to him, man, and that voice can get so many ranges and notes, man. It just give you your chill bumps.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, I've heard Aretha sing some gospel. I like Sam Cooke. Now I like Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Teen Spirit.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm all over the place, man. I'm not just stuck in one mode.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put me in a box with anything, but especially with music. I mean, there's certain country songs that I download that you might hear me play it on repeat back to back, make me wish I could sing. Temptations, you name it.
Yes, sir.
Beatles, MacArthur Park. I mean, you name it. Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers,
Donnie Hathaway.
You know, man, all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, so many different people. It's actually some of my favorite songs. I hear them and don't know who sang.
Yeah.
I just hear them and be like, man, there go that song. I like it. And I never took the time to find out. Some words, I don't even know the songs to them. And I've been listening to them all my life. And I enjoy them enough to not even to just enjoy the listen. Not even take the time out to try to memorize the words. I just enjoy them when I hear them.
Exactly.
So, you know, I just like music, period, man. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to just put me in a box with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could go all over the place with it.
Yes, sir.
Beethoven, you name it, Mozart. I mean, you know, trying out for Allstate and, you know, playing symphonic bands and stuff like that. You know, Commodore, growing up with a dad that was in the band that they cover songs. You get what I'm saying? They play whatever Earth, Wind and Fire came out with in a week or two, they had it. So, you know, and I grew up listening to that. But, you know, just a lot of variety, man. You know, I go up and down the ranges of different genres of music and just, you know, start naming favorite songs to the point where I say, you know what, I ain't gonna even say I got a favorite.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to because there's so much going on. Mary, what do you say to that, Mary? What music captures you, Mary?
Well, it depends on the mood. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you know, most of the time, for the most part, I don't know. I honestly listen to more true crime than I listen to music nowadays. So I truly don't know.
And that's good because that means you're open to listen. Now, how do you feel about country music?
Oh, I like country music.
Okay. All right.
I don't think that's the only genre that I really don't dabble in is opera because I had a bad experience. And
you had a bad experience.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Okay, we ain't gonna talk about it. Let me keep this thing going. Cornelius, what music captures you, brother?
Talking about now or back then?
Now.
Gospel. I'm in the box.
Okay.
I don't listen to none but gospel.
There you go.
That's all I listen to, man. I got my Pandora. And that Pandora, they put stuff in there. And all I listen to is my my Pandora. I don't click on nothing else.
There you go.
That's my music.
All that. Raheem, if I could add this question for him.
Straight up.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: what does it take you to? I mean, if you're if you're in a mood, not a slumber type, not so good mood, what gospel song can you put on that's going to immediately change and give you uplift you a little bit? Is there a particular one?
It's so many, man. It's so many because I allow the music to ministry to me when I need it because I love music. But it's gospel because I need that's part of the ministry that helps keep me focused on the things of of God. So in that aspect, I have a couple of songs, but it is not one in particular. But the one song that I think I'm trying to pull out of my conscience, I remember that it just came out. He Knows My Name. I forgot her name.
That's the young girl. Yeah, the young girl. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, He Knows My Name. And when I think about that, or another song where it says, another song that just came out, that this is my exodus. You know, I love that song. You know, those are the type of songs that where it takes me there into a deep level of worship.
Exactly.
And to where even when our praise team begin to sing those songs, I drop to my knees and begin to cry out and speaking in tongues to God and thanking God for what He's done for me. You know, that would take me there, and to know that the God of all creation, the one who created me, the one who created the heavens and earth, knows my name.
Yes, sir.
And decided to pick me out. Out of all the people in the world, He could have left me out there. But when I think about how He knows my name and chose me to say, I'm going to deliver you and use you for my glory, when He could have easily left me out there to die when I was in my sin. He knows my name.
Wow.
So when I'm even talking about it right now, I'm starting to go there. You know, because I don't take the walk for granted. And remember when I was testifying in the because I'm telling you, man, when I was telling you about that, my life back then, was doing the nasty stuff that I was doing with fornication and idolatry and having babies and aborting them and all this crazy stuff, man. And God said, I know your name. I'm going to choose you to do what I called you to do. Because He just let me die there in my sin. Bro, this is my exodus.
Come on.
So I know the stuff where God brought me from. So I'm in the box. I'm right there. I don't want to hear nothing else. I'm not there because I used to listen to all that stuff. R&B, I was putting, man, my old songs used to be slow jam. Remember those old slow jam tapes?
Yes, sir.
You used to put together your teeth sweats and all that stuff. I used to have all that stuff. But now I'm just like straight right there in that zone. Even when I be at work and I set up with this, when I'm at work and I get to lock into my job and I see there's a lot of work I need to do, I just turn my gospel music on while I'm listening to my Pandora and I'm busting out to work. Because I'm locked to my music and the work, my job is flowing and I'm having a good night because my gospel music is bringing me through.
Good deal.
That's where I'm at.
Good deal. Let me go to two songs. What music captures you?
Well, I had to sit in with my man for a minute, man. I tell you, there's nothing like gospel music. But I'm gonna tell you, I like reggae music without the weed.
Oh Lord, Leonard, we about to go somewhere, Leonard. Put your seatbelt on, brother. We about to take a trip.
Let's see where we go.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
Say it again, brother. Say it again.
I like reggae music without the weed.
Oh my God. Weedless.
I'm just telling you. I like all kind of music, man.
Mm-hmm.
I stick on gospel. I'm with Kirk. For real. I mean, I got to have it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think I said something yesterday, today. There's some songs there's some moods you get in that it just, it's kind of hard singing Jesus keep me near the cross and all the world go free.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, man, I've been in this thing for at least my adult life for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about ministry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't joke around. And I don't take his word for granted, and nobody can throw me anything. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about when you talk about study to show yourself approval. I don't boast, brag, nothing, but I ain't ignorant. I'm not too bright, but I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The word is hidden for real, but there is a thing about God,
mm-hmm.
and I have to say, I'm saying this. I don't close him in
Mm-hmm.
to the point where he can't get in, to the point where I exclude somebody.
Yeah.
So I like country music. I love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I love classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I can ride around across the country listening to Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Come on.
When you turn the corner, the music just shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Same way with classical music. You hit that curve, you hit that heel, and the music turns and tilts with it. So, but I say that because you have to be able to communicate with different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know where they are or how they communicate even musically, then you might miss something. So
Mm-hmm.
I listen to it. I like Charlie Pride.
Come on now.
Name?
Charlie Pride, yeah. Come on now.
I'm just telling you, man. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
But it is
that this man from Louisiana, I'm gonna listen to some doggone Charlie Pride.
You, man. And you know, I had a guy that used to say, man, you know, I hate blues, but it's just so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
But just like a good old blues song on a Saturday morning.
Louise.
I'm just saying.
I got you. Let me see. Did I touch everybody? Oh, Rico, did I get you on this question, brother? What music captures you?
Yeah, you got me a second ago. I said the Beatles, Nirvana. You know, mentioned that Beethoven and Mozart. I left out that, you know, I mentioned country music, man, but I didn't mention about how crazy I used to be about Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton.
Oh Lord, come on, Rico, come on, man.
Man, I was crazy about them. Look, when I was young, I wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much I love music. I mean, you know, you would catch me watching Roy Clark.
Mm-hmm.
What was the little show they had on, man?
Hee Haw.
Hee Haw. Man, I was on that.
Rico, come on. Where are you tonight? Man. Why did you leave me here all alone?
Hey, listen, you might even catch me listening to some Lawrence Welk, man, when I was young, man. I mean, I just, you know, music is music to me. That's why I said that sometimes I don't even memorize the words. Sometimes I don't even know who sings it. I just know when I hear it, I like what I heard. And even, look, I can know the words, but I enjoy what I heard so much that I get lost when I'm trying to sing along with it. I still forget that I know the words.
Exactly.
It's all brand new because I can give them enough credit to the point of where I appreciate what they just blessed us with. That Jackson 5, man, I went and downloaded that Jackson 5 the other day. Had a whole day worth of just Jackson 5 and
yes, sir.
Man, you name it. So I mean, I'm all over the place, man. And even with some of these younger performers, Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
that boy nice.
Yeah. Now hold on. Let me ask you this question, and I'm gonna move on to somebody else. What is the state? Because I think I saw you put a post up the other day. What is the state of rap music now? Have we lost it?
It's gone. It's gone. It's manipulated though. The mainstream artists that you see mainly paid to get to that position, and they manipulated it. I told you about what Travis Scott's manager said. He came up with software, and it's true because I had a song on Sound was it Soundwave or SoundCloud?
SoundCloud, yeah.
And one of the guys that I know was doing music, man, he said, man, I'm gonna get you a lot of views, a lot of listens. So he did it, man, and it was like the first hour was 1,000, and then the next thing you know, it multiplied up to 3,000 and 5,000. So I shared it every hour. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same system that guy used. So when you realize that you have people paying a system or some software to get them listens or views, and then the record execs actually go after them based off of the fact that they have so-called momentum, then you think about the quality of the music. It's not really what it should be, because I hear people that's not even famous, local people or people that's underground that's better than the mainstream artists.
Yeah, exactly. Carlos, let me ask you this: is it possible, with you having a music background that you have, is it possible that you could listen to a song and like a lot of people have said, sometimes they don't even really hear or pay attention to the words? It's more about the music. Can you get captured by the music? Carlos?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can get captured by. Yes, sir. I believe you can get captured by the music. I've gotten captured by the music. What captures me most, though, is the truth. The truth of music. And there's certain kinds of music that don't appeal to me as much as others, but I like a variety of music, and I spend a lot of my time creating music. So it's a whole different thing. A lot of people who spend a lot of time creating music listen to a lot of music. I don't listen to a lot of music, but I'm engaged in a lot. Like I do classical, I do R&B, I do show tunes. Like I play each week at a center where I play different kinds of music, and sometimes I just hear music all the time. It's got a lot of music in me, and I hear music from old time, long time ago, current stuff. And I sometimes I think to myself, I said, maybe you should listen to more music, but I don't have music that I like just like that. That's my style, because like kind of like Rico, I was in the band coming up, and I really learned how to appreciate classical music then. I listen to classical music every day. I go to bed, I play classical music at night when I go to bed. That's me. That's my thing. But everybody has their own thing. But that's one of my things. I love easy listening music. I like like nightclub music. I love jazz. I play jazz. So I have different things that I like. But I totally agree with you. There's some music that just the music grabs you. But man, when you got the music grabbing you and the words grabbing you, you have been grabbed. whatever genre it is, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Your brother said you have been grabbed. Know that you have been grabbed. Right. Mary, anything on your heart right now, Mary?
Not at the moment. I'm just listening along.
Okay, good deal. Now, Leonard, what do you say to that, Leonard? The music has words, has lyrics, but is it possible, with you being who you are with your music background as well, is it possible that sometimes that just the music, they can just take the lyrics out, throw them away? We don't need that. Just let me have that music right there. I love that. Is it possible that can happen, Leonard?
Some pieces don't even require words. It's like one I told you before. I really enjoy music. I mean, it doesn't have to be popular.
Yeah.
So, I'm listening critically to music because I'm interested in what the bass line is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in what the horns are doing and things of that nature. So I'm listening critically to things. Now,
Mm-hmm.
certain music goes for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for instance, I actually watched a concert, an old Prince concert the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was captured as if I was sitting right there.
Wow.
His level of talent,
Mm-hmm.
it was just remarkable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And just if you know him from the singing and the dancing, but all the work is some of his tunes that were being released are just instrumentals, are just as good because the talent involved. He has the ability to really translate and communicate musically without even opening his mouth at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a true artist. He's a true artist. So I'm looking forward to artists that actually create things.
Mm-hmm.
Rap music, you made that comment. People said, what happened to rap? Rap music evolves. That's what things do. I mean, it should evolve. That's the nature of it. The rap is only as good as the people that is that actual generation at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're capable of doing. And we have some artists that are much better than others. We have more artists that are getting more into, lyrically. People love Cole because of his lyrical ability and how he laces that over the music, which in his performance, the music is second because his lyric is so awesome that even without the music, his lyrics communicate to you that way.
Wow. Okay.
So he's not a musician, so to speak. I bet you he knows keys and things and stuff like that. But it's amazing to hear real artists. That's why I'm into jazz and things like that because it's so creative. Or even if you perform classics and you listen to the classics, but you hear various masters redo different classics. Their thing, their authenticity is on that. So I'm into artists, not a lot of the machine generated things. Like, say for instance, it's very possible to be a complete millionaire and a success these days with a basic beat machine. It's because when you put this technology in front of created individuals, they're going to produce.
Yeah.
It's going to sound good. But it's not that it has to be the way you want it to be. It's just that what does it communicate to me? I'm not into people that can't explain what they say. So when I hear an artist, someone quote an artist asked about a record that they made and they can't explain it, that's probably why I didn't listen to it.
Probably why I didn't buy it.
Because I knew it wasn't genuine in the first place.
Exactly. Don, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh man, this is my category right here, man. And Rico, you started something a little bit, Rico, about what happened to rap, and it's completely gone. And I gotta agree with Leonard. It definitely evolves, and there's nothing new under the sun. You got documentaries of people paying DJs to play their records, and you got songs like "Hole in the Wall" and my side piece and all that other stuff. So you got different genres and different categories of music all throughout time. So it's just evolved to a different level. And you're absolutely right, there are some people that does music differently. Coming from Leonard's perspective, if you have a creative person that uses technology and be able to make something really good, then they can definitely take it to a different level. Like Kanye West, he's one of the producers that use a lot of samples from old school songs, like the Otis Reddings, the Frankie and Beverly, the Earth, Wind and Fire, the Gap Band. Like they use a lot of those old school samples because they find segments of it to really just bring it to this generation. So it's kind of paying homage to those different genres, but still keeping it hip hop. So
do you
yeah,
think?
I mean, I love it.
Do you think that the new artists in hip hop right now are as talented lyrically as the old guys were?
I mean, what's your goal? You know, is your goal to be talented or to make money? You know, it's the music business, you know. And that, like Jay-Z said, lyrically, I'd rather be Talib Kweli, which is a Questlove group, and they were heavy lyrically. Lyrically, I'd rather be Talib Kweli, but it made more sense, you know. You know what I mean? Like he has different bars to where it's like it made more sense to just rap like this because this is what makes me money. So yes, people can be lyrical, but you'll notice that they don't get much attention because a lot of people don't follow. They go with what's captivating. And what you said, music grabs you. There's a formula behind music. There's music theory. Like yeah, Leonard probably knows this being a musician and listening to jazz. There's a way that you can capture an ear. And if you know the science of music and you're a good producer and you study the music, you know what music is going to captivate your ear. Same thing they do in church with, you know, gospel music. They make music that captures your ear. The way the preacher preach, he captures your ear because he's a compelling speaker. There's all kind of theories. They go to school for this stuff. So, you know, it's there and you just have to know what can capture your ear. As simple as a lullaby. You listen to that melody. The fact that the music business focus so much on pop music is because it's catchy, and and people like something that they can repeat. So that's why you hear a lot of music today being very repetitive, and these artists making a whole lot of money from it. But those artists who are truly transcending through this generation and who are inspired culturally from, you know, legends and those pillars throughout time, you will probably see them progress longer and have a longevity career. So yeah, like that's how I feel. I feel like rap, you know, the current rappers can be short-lived, but you can enjoy their music because you may not listen to the lyrics or it may be very vulgar, but something about it is catchy. You know, whether you're
Now,
not bopping your head, your kid
do
is.
you? I'm gonna go to Mary because Mary is actually the youngest one on here. But do you think these new guys could do you think the new guys could make something like the message on Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five? Man, you can play the message today and people still gonna get up and dance off the message. Yeah, I got a little but there are certain songs, man. Eric B and Rakim. You could take one of Rakim's song, man, put it in a party right now, and you're a DJ now. When you play Eric B and Rakim, do the people continue to dance?
They continue to dance. They dance off of Planet Rock too. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, they still dance off the electric slide and set it off. Like, you know, you got some people that, you know, can vibe off of good music, and those are the good parties. But
Exactly.
the Wobble is one of those current songs. Cupid Shuffle, a lot of slide. You know, Chicago people love sliding. It depends on where you're from and what mood you're in. But yeah,
Exactly.
man, music is gonna be a constant thing because it tells the time that we're in, and people love going through historical records and catching the vibe to see what their parents and other generations went through. And it just tells a story. It's our legacy, you know. When we're gone, the music will still be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mary, do you think hip hop has taken a hit? Mary?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
Tell me, boo.
The majority of it, absolutely. But we do have some nice people. Some I think there's some people that I don't know if they would be as successful back then, but because times have changed, they don't remember the same stuff. But I would put J. Cole up there with the best of the time right now. Kendrick Lamar is one of the best of the time right now. We have a lot of really good people, but we also have some really bad people. And I think the people that are more mainstream right now are bad people. They're good for parties though, great for parties. They'll make you move, but the words don't really have as much.
Yeah,
doesn't really fill you up. Get your heart going. You really connect with it as much as you know people back then. Like our female rappers won't be like the Brat. They just not. Don't be like that. But they're great. But they're not gonna be like that. We're not gonna get another. I don't think we're gonna get another wave of that. But I think music now is more so of like staying relevant rather than being timeless. In my opinion, like music back then, it's timeless. You can play Mary J. Blige and we're talking about rap, so you can play, you know, how you said Rakim now. You can play Tupac now.
Yeah.
You can play Biggie now. They're timeless, but there won't always be a time when Nicki Minaj can be played. It just won't be. Eventually, she's not relatable anymore.
Yeah,
things gonna change. It's just not gonna happen for her. But there are female rappers that won't go away. There's a reason why people still talk about Lil' Kim. I don't like her, but there's a reason why people talk about her. So I think now we don't really focus on being timeless and the meaning of why you're doing it. It's more so who can stay relevant
exactly,
longer, because that's how you feed your kids.
That's good. Rico, talk to me, man. Can if they I'm gonna be silly. They go to a party and they throw some Luke on, man. Is people still gonna be on the floor?
Depending on what age range, that's gonna be the majority of the party. I mean, because it's still that's still our generation, and we still like to party. You know, they still you still got some of those old school concerts that go on with 8 Ball and MJG.
Yeah.
You know, they still traveling around, and so with Juvenile, that thing up.
Yeah.
You know, that's a timeless one. It is timeless, but it's that's pretty much the same tone that's set right now. So you ain't finna find too much more that's timeless like that. But I'm glad she came on and said that, because when you said have we lost hip hop, I'm basing that off of that music taking me somewhere, meaning something to me. Like a Sam Cooke change gonna come.
Yes, sir.
We have hip hop like that, but now we don't. Buddy said it truthfully. It's about trend and it's about business. So when it's about trend and about business, then you take all kind of integrity away from it, sincerity. But now if you really do listen to these cats, now I'm speaking from a person that opened up Amigos in 2014. Me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and I still deal with a lot of these young cats. What I can say evolved since I've been involved in music, and especially hip hop so much, is the production. The lyrical content has went to trash, and what makes these people have more play than Lupe Fiasco, what makes these people have more play than Kendrick Lamar, is the fact that they are promotable for an agenda by people that own hip hop, but not us. So now we don't have hip hop anymore, because if it was up to us to really determine who was mainstream, we probably would put a Kendrick Lamar out there. But somebody else is going to choose Megan Thee Stallion and give her Popeyes commercial, because it helps another demographic for our demographic to go in that direction and have her to influence little girls more than her. And I'm talking about the artist, her, H-E-R. So, I mean, we have lost it, whether we want to admit it or not. But yeah, people getting paid. But what I can say is that it has evolved. The production is better. If Rakim and LL Cool J had the tracks that these jokers got right now, oh man, it would be untouchable. See, we came from a sample and just plain beat machine era. Right now, you got people that's actually pure musicians making these hip hop beats for these guys. So they getting music now to rap to that the rappers in the past didn't have. Like, for instance, my favorite, Zaytoven. That boy is nasty. I mean, when I tell you, people only know him from hip hop. If you put him in a church or put some classical music in front of him, man, he gonna run you out the building. And he's making music strictly for hip hop. And I mean, he's in high demand. There are many more of them. And then you got the auto tune that sort of watered everything down. I mean, you know, it got better production wise because I can honestly listen to more instrumentals now with just maybe the hooks than I can with the whole song. I mean, you could take a 2 Chainz song. I could probably listen to his whole album just instrumental. Rick Ross, oh my goodness, that man got some melodies, man. I don't have to listen to nobody rap or nothing. Just give me the instrument. Matter of fact, I break my neck a lot of times trying to find just the instrumentals for today's music because the production is so much better. You got real deal true musicians making tracks for these rappers now.
Exactly. Now, Carlos, I'm gonna come to you because I know you may not be into the hip hop and all this stuff. All the we talking about the Three Amigos and Rakims and all these people, but I want to ask you something. Stand in line with the music. Carlos said, "Hold on, boy. If Carlos with a bust a rhyme, good about the bust a rhyme. I don't know who you talking to.
You might well call them the Three Musketeers. You gonna call them the Three Amigos."
But Carlos, let me ask you this: with music. And again, you do have the background in music. What difference does an octave? Can your octaves that you use in the music, could the tones that you use in the music pull people in or change their attitude, if you will? Can you use octaves or whatever it is that y'all use? I'm not a musician, but can you use something like that to change a person's mood?
Definitely so. Yeah. You know, and I think it's funny how that is because with technology and more ingenuity, it's kind of like in the movies. You know how you look back at some of the older movies, how slow, drawn out it is, and they capture. If you look at some of those now, they capture you for a little while. But all of these now, they just pull you in, and like a series, they hold you. The same thing is true about music as far as the technique and the ingenuity that they use in capturing octaves and tones and everything else, all kinds of stuff. It's it's limitless, you know. It's definitely limitless.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leonard, what do you say to that, Leonard? The octaves of the music, the tones and stuff like that. Can that change your mood? Can that change your attitude, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's for, you know. I think that's how you get more into music, where artists get a chance to do those things. You know, like that one, I'm more of an acoustic type person, so I really enjoy what artists have. And I'm never one of those type of people, you know, well, rap ain't this, rap ain't that. I don't know what it is because I have to wait for some artist to create it, whatever it may be. So it don't belong to me. I don't control it. I listen. That's all I have invested, is I just listen. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. If not, hey, I ain't disappointed. But like I said, I don't expect children to say a lot of things that really interest me that much. So the little things that they say, no, I'm not surprised at all. What else would they say? It's the more intellectual guys who actually are serious about what they have, like a J. Cole. We mentioned him, or any other rapper for that matter. Like Tupac was more than just somebody out here in the culture, or starting the culture. He was giving you something out of his heart. He was creating that. So I can sit down and read his book and his lyrics, and that explains a lot to me about where he was, you know, at that point in time. So I don't look for artists to create what I want. I listen to what they have.
That's good.
Herbie Hancock don't owe me nothing. You know, artists don't owe me anything. Now, what I do is choose what I listen to. I don't listen to the radio as much, but commercial music is just that. It's for commercial. It's to sell things. That's what it's for. I don't look at it outside of that.
Gotcha.
So, you know, like, hey, it's catchy. It'll work.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You know, is we going to be doing it like we used to do it? No, we're not. Because one thing is going to be evident. Our bodies are not going with what we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or be able to do, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. So ain't nobody around here. Ain't nobody around here dropping it like it's hot. Ain't nobody around here dropping it like it's hot.
Oh man! Or as the young folks will say, everybody won't need like Megan.
Mm-hmm.
That's that girl's product. She does that very well.
Mm-hmm.
And look what she's been able to do with it, despite the fact people the girl just graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you place people in positions that they never asked you to put them in.
Yeah.
But she ain't never asked you to treat her like she was anything else but what she was doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what they sell to you. If that's what you buy, hey, the numbers don't, like the people manipulate numbers and do everything. But I'm just interested in the show because that's all it is a show.
Mm-hmm. And like Don said, it's the music business.
So what?
Mm-hmm. And like Don said, it's the music business. Is what it is, the music business. But Don,
it's business.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Don, let me come to you for a second, and let's talk about those octaves in the music. As a DJ, you looking out at the crowd. Is there certain songs that you know that you can play? Okay, they starting to sit around. Let me go to this particular song right here. This song got this vibe. This song got this thing about it that they ain't got no choice but to come to that dance floor, and I'm gonna have them back again. How do you do that?
Oh yeah, I mean, you just got to read the room and know who you're playing for, and sometimes that's hard to gauge. You have to be an avid profiler. You got to. It's borderline. Just profiler basically. I mean, it could be incorrect profiling because, like you said, you get a guy like Leonard and you're like, oh, this cat will really like, maybe Poison or Bobby Brown, and you're like, I don't like that. I want jazz,
exactly.
So you got to be careful, and a lot of times DJs kind of go in blind. For the industry that I'm in, I hardly go in blind. We kind of get let us know what categories you think people will want to listen to. But if I read the room, I usually go back to a line dance, something at that peak in that age range, probably that particular demographic. So if it's Black folks, we love Before I Let You Go by Frankie and Beverly, September. Those are good classic songs. If it's somebody's birthday, Stevie Wonder, happy birthday, Celebrate, Ladies Nights, those are good bangers for the 40 and up crowd that everybody can relate to, even young folks. Cameo, like, that beat that comes on with Cameo drops, like, all the way up to the house party. You have those transcending songs that it'll never let you down. You know what I mean? And then you have current stuff like Wobble, not as current, but it's still like a line dance kind of vibe that people like love to get up to. But if all else fails, cater to the women, because the women are there to have a good time. They're there to get on the dance floor. That's how everybody use their formula. Clubs, you get women there, the guys will come.
So absolutely.
Yeah, so you find a woman that is like, all right, this is a song that I want to hear, and you pop it in there for her and you play it, and if that's their vibe, everybody else gonna join on the dance floor. But usually changing the tone with a good little line dance always kind of does the trick, and then you just transition to a good up tempo song right after that.
Exactly. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm hearing a lot of, I'm gonna say, neglect of actually recognizing the type of influence that music can have on people. I know you went to that about the octaves for a reason, frequencies.
Yes.
The type of influence that it can have, the type of mood it could put you in. Okay. We acknowledging that exists, right? Now, I seem to remember in the 80s that during heavy metal time, Ozzy Osbourne or maybe Twisted Sister and all these makeup wearing men was sort of being persecuted for making music they said was encouraging people to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Suicide music. Everything was depressed. Woe is me, which a lot of these rappers doing now. If you really listen to some of these rappers now, a lot of them, they rapping about a lot of pain and how everybody did them wrong and their daddies went in their lives and their mamas did the best they could. And you know, now they got some money and they gonna give somebody some. But they still ready to do everything to the fullest till they die. I want to know, Megan Thee Stallion, that is her brand. That's her style. That's what she's selling. But along the lines of talking about this influence that we just acknowledged with the octaves and this and that, the influence that it has on society and the way it can push society to go in a certain way, because hip hop has that type of power now to where it influences culture. That's the reason why people put it on commercials. Now they don't just put it on commercials because it sounds good. That's a brand. No, they know that thing gonna work a spell on you
subconsciously.
They got these frequencies. Get what I'm saying? And so now, you know, we can either look at it as, it's just fun, kids game, no big deal. It's just music and I just like to listen to it. Or we could think like Cornelius and say, you know what, man, I know music is so powerful that I choose to only listen to this. Because I don't want to be swayed by none of this other stuff. See, that brother, if you listen to what he said earlier, he pretty much, to me, in my opinion, is saying that some of those things he listened to sort of encouraged him to go do some of the things he did. He might have listened to a little R. Kelly and decided he wanted to go half on a baby because it sounded good. So he ain't pull out. Not only did he go wrong, but he didn't pull out. There's a baby here made because the song sounded good and it was the right moment. That's influence and power. Now, I'm going to go back to what I said. We mentioned J. Cole. We mentioned Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar don't even want to do music no more. Why? Because he ain't got control over his music and they don't want him to put it out because it ain't ours no more. You got to play somebody else's game if you want to make it. In hip hop right now, you got to play the devil's game. And if it's that simple as just to say, well, you know what, we don't dictate what music is, or we can't say they make music for us now, but we can say what this music does to our community. The message that it gives to the children that you see out here wanting to fight their daddies now. Guess where they're getting it from? See, Tupac had that power. We talk about Tupac. He wasn't just good to listen to because he was fun. Just like Leonard said, he had a message. He had a momentum behind him. And he could take T.I. could do the same thing. T.I. get in the front of black issues, and everybody jump on T.I. wagon, and then T.I. go and start talking about the trap and beefing with people. And next thing you know, the momentum went with him. Let's go to the trap museum and honor people that sold crack. They talked about dope boy music. You get what I'm saying? So that dysfunction and that distraction, he is put in a position for a reason. Because I'm gonna allow that.
Exactly. And there's a group, man, that I used to love back in the day, man, and they really didn't get. It was out of Philadelphia, I think it was, and they didn't get a lot of playtime at all. They, you know, every now and then you'll hear something from them, but they didn't get the airplay like most people would. And there was PRT. Y'all know PRT, Poor Righteous Teacher. Yeah, PRT, man, Poor Righteous Teacher, man. Them, and I love their music, man, and love the message in their music, but the radio ain't gonna push them like that. Radio ain't gonna push that, man, because it was positive and it was telling you to stand up and do something and be something. That's what it was telling you. Carlos, what's on your heart, brother? Carlos, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just listening to you guys and listening and learning, you know. And I was on the internet trying to look. Rico had posed that question about that, you know, the government influence, you know, on you know, suicide music or rap music, whatever. I was just kind of looking at stuff as we were talking and listening. Okay. So I'm learning.
Now we're ready to go. Now we're ready to change this topic, and we're gonna go. We got one more. Well, we got actually got two more topics. I'm gonna pull one more back in, and I want to ask this question right here. Message from the black man. Message from the black man. And let me say, Rico, I'm gonna come to you first. How did you feel, Rico? The first time somebody outside of your race called you the N-word?
I think the first time I might have heard it. I'm trying to think. Did I hear it from somebody calling me that, or did I see it on TV? You know what? I might have been called that from one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Come to think of it, I think it might have been another black person called me that first. So when I heard a white person say it, I didn't think nothing about it. I probably went back and repeated it behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Naive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I really had to think back about it. But when I found out that it was something offensive, you know, and you know, because when we say it to each other, we use it as a term of endearment. Even back in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? If you heard it from another black person, you just took it as that was just, you know, a word that they used. Unless you saw a movie like Roots or something like that, then it started dawning on you like, wait a minute, man, they trying to say that like it's something negative. So by the time it got to that point, how did it make me feel? Oh man, words it's really hard for words to describe. You know, you go through a number of emotions, you know what I'm saying? You go through some anger. I don't want to say you go through an embarrassment, but at the same time you can, depending on who's around. You know, they could see it around a lot of black people, they could just see it in a crowd, period. You know, but even just saying it without a crowd being around, man, I mean, man, it's really hard for words to describe. You know, one thing definitely I can say is anger, complete anger, because I know when that word was used in the past, it was meant with a lot of aggression and violence, savagery. So, you know what I'm saying? When I felt, whenever I heard it from one of them and they said it with that type of intention, I felt the need to fight that aggression with the same type of anger, because I felt like, you know what I'm saying, if you had the nerve to say that to me, this is what you wish you could be doing to me at this point in time. You wish you could be stringing me up from a tree.
Wow. And I'm gonna stay here. And good evening, Leonard. Leroy. Got a fellow named Leroy Jeter. That's one listener. We got quite a few people. I can't call all your names. I definitely apologize to you for that. But Rico, let me ask you this. You said something, brother, and I'm gonna go to everybody with this, and we're gonna stay with this as long as we can before we get out of here. What impact did watching the movie Roots have on you?
When I first saw it, it was shocking. You know, I knew right off the top that wasn't right. You know, I mean, I remember when I first found out racism even existed, I was completely shocked, because I could remember a point in time where I just looked at human beings as being human beings.
Absolutely.
You know, when I could look at TV and it didn't matter what color a person was, it just after a while I started realizing that you start seeing more white people on TV than black people. But still, just in my everyday life, I didn't think that nobody was different. Then I started seeing the Brady Bunch, and I started seeing people living a little bit better. And I was like, man, this ain't fair. You know, I noticed that some people felt like, well, that's just the way it's supposed to be. We supposed to be like this. But in the back of my mind, I was like, no, I don't think it's supposed to be this way. I think we all supposed to be treating each other the same. You know, I don't even really think nothing about color. So, you know, when I saw that movie, man, it just, it put me on my toes. It put me on my toes. And know, number one, if somebody thought that way in the past, and then knowing that they benefited from being in the advantage, then somebody probably feel that way right now. And I started seeing more people that look just like them still in the advantage.
Wow. Carlos, how did you feel, brother, the first time someone called you the N-word?
I believe that the first time I was called the N-word was by some little boys that lived at the end of the road. I lived in the country. I grew up in the country, and we would get on our road and walk to the store that's at the end of the road. And right before you get to this, all the houses before that time on both sides of the road were black folks. The last house you passed before you get to that store on the right-hand side was some white folks, and they had some, little white boys out there. So what they would do is they they may say something like they're about to say something as you go to the store. You go to the store, get your stuff. On your way back home, by the time you get far enough away from them so they can run, then they start calling you the N-word, whatever the case. I was just thinking about all that, because I grew up in a household where my grandfather who raised me did not like white folks at all. And so but also I grew up in a culture in my time coming up where we learned dignity and learned that we were not inferior to white people. We had to live in the world with white people, but we understood that they were the reason they feel like this. They were messed up, you see, and we're trying to be taught not to let that control. It was the world that we lived in. The culture that I came up in, you knew not to look at a white woman, let's just say, too long, or a white girl, even not that you wanted to or whatever the case may be, but that was just kind of what it was. So the N word was not just an N word, it was an N milieu. It was an N environment. So you can feel the N word without hearing the N word. When you're in contact with people, think the N word. So it's the society that you're in, it's what you grew up in. But thankfully, and I have all respect in the world for Black schools, Black teachers. All my teachers were Black. All my schooling up to college was Black. We had all the kids were Black. The only white person that came there was a nurse that came and gave us a shot every year, a shot or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But I saw one time, how a white dentist treated my grandfather one night, and so much stuff stirred up in me, man. It just, he was treating him like he was not human. But my grandfather just, took it. Well, because you got to take it right there because you're in a dentist chair. I don't think you want to act too anything right there. You got when you're speaking to somebody. But so there's a pain in that coming from white people. I was taught it was coming from poor white trash normally. You see what I'm saying? But just because they called me that, it didn't make me that. Whatever they thought it was, I looked at it as if it were, that's your dementia, you see, and that's how you think. But I am somebody, even before Jesse Jackson said I am somebody, or James Brown said Black and Proud. It was an environment where I already knew that, and I knew I was going places, and I knew that I was going to have to contend with this in my life, but not be, So it's a lot of stuff about this whole N-word thing. I mean, I have my own feelings about that, and I think we try to censor that from anybody saying it because it's politically correct or whatever. But like Rico said, this was a term in endearment for us. And if the truth be told, every single one of us here, I shouldn't say that. I can't talk about y'all, but I use it to my friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Please. N-word, please. So it's okay. It's okay. But
no. Leonard, let me wind Mr. Carlos back in, Leonard. Let me wind it back in, Leonard. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I love Mr. Carlos on wisdom, man. I love that brother's wisdom, man. I really do, and I definitely appreciate him coming and hanging out with us on Tuesday evenings, man, because he bring another level of wisdom to us. He really does. And Carlos, I really appreciate you, brother. I really do.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. Leonard, the first time someone outside of your race called you the N-word, what impact did it have on you? How did you feel about it?
Well, nobody's never done it. It's like I said, we didn't have these issues a lot when I was younger. I really understand the sentiment that some people do have for it, though. To me, it's just So it's funny. It's funnier than anything to me. And if it goes well, like a good song, if words fit, they fit.
Mm-hmm.
They're funny. You know what makes it funny? Because you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you sitting there and a bunch of white people, or a bunch of black people, and a white guy say, "Guess what this nigga told me the he got to go."
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to even talk to me about it. You're not allowed to say it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why will get you hurt? I'm just explaining it to you.
Let me ask you this, Leonard. What if and because we spoke a few minutes ago about rap music, and you know they're notorious for using that particular word in their music. So if you're sitting in a group, say if 4 or 5 of y'all, three blacks, maybe two Caucasian brothers and sisters, and a song come on, and all y'all singing that song, and that word come across, and it comes to that part in the song where that word, and they say it, they say it. It's in the song. I'm singing the song like you singing the song. What you mean I can't?
Right.
I'm singing a song. What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that?
Mm-hmm.
Leonard, what?
How
is that moment?
That's a white person's problem. That's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
So they should deal with it the best way they can.
No, but you there, man, and you hear them singing the song, and all y'all singing the song, and then when it gets to that point, in the song right there, everybody stop and look at them, and they just keep going. And that what? Hold on.
You get checked immediately.
But it's in the song though. They just sing.
It's not a thing where like if you give it too much attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's an issue.
Yeah.
However, I don't. White people have a certain responsibility, and that's one of them. And that's not to say that words in the company of black people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care how they feel about it or what they think about it.
So they can't even sing the song.
I mean, you may want to omit that part in some areas. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a beat down. Period. It don't have to be right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You should know better, white man. Go learn.
Lord.
I'm not going to sit here and try to make you. That's what people's problem is, really. I don't care nothing about being you comfortable. You sure wasn't worried about how comfortable my grandfather was when you said it to him. So why should I be concerned about it now?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. Don, what's on your heart, brother? Now all y'all sitting around, Don, and y'all singing the song. Y'all having a good time. Y'all at the table. Y'all out at lunch. Y'all got the music playing, and everything is good, man. And then there's this word come up in the song, and your Caucasian brothers and sisters, man, they just and they say it loud too. And I'm gonna tell you that, Nate, and they say it loud, man. Yeah.
Hey. I'm a non-violent person. Just let's get that out of the way. So I do what I have to. So but just to before I answer that question, I figure I knew Leonard's answer wasn't gonna be like no one ever called him that.
Yeah.
And I thought the reason was gonna be, have you ever seen Leonard? Like he looked like he would tell somebody else. Like I wish somebody would.
I wish.
I wish I knew. But yeah, so like at that point, like for that scenario, if somebody had said it, it would be immediate, like stop the music. We all look at him. I wouldn't be the person to do it as far as like chin checking him, but if he's in the in crowd and he just doesn't know any better, it would be like, all right, you need to acknowledge this moment and know that that's not cool. And at that point, you look at people that actually have a pass to say the N word, like Eminem. He does not say that word in any of his raps. So there are people that know better that have the go ahead to say it, and they still don't say it. So I'm not gonna expect anything less of my friends or anything like that. And if you choose to say it, and after I tell you not to, then we ain't friends no more. You know what I mean? And that's simple as that. But being 33, I was privileged to grow up, during an era where a lot of people have fought before me to lessen that blow, but there is definitely a subjugation to our demographic in terms of just what that word has impacted us over the years. So like brother said, like you don't have to say the word anymore, to kind of get that vibe, the nastiness, you know, because they said before, when they said it, it was a word of disrespect, to show their superiority. And you know, if anybody said it to me, from that perspective, to where I would feel if anything, you know, I would feel more, I think I had my run-ins before where it was more so at a disadvantage, instead of like the N-word wasn't said, but definitely I felt the fact that this person had superiority and could get away with evil. And even if I was in the right and told on them, I still get in trouble because of the color of our skin. So, you know, you definitely have that tone, the supremacy, you know, the offset, you know, from then to now. And you see a lot of jobs in the corporation now. It's like you see more top level people be Caucasian, and more average entry level to middle management be, you know, African American, and the pay range is different too. More six figure people, they're more white, and that's because of the disadvantage that whole culture did to disenfranchise us those many years ago. So you know, it's in the culture today. It's just hitting really well, and people know how to talk it without saying it. So you really just have to be aware, you know. You know, we even have it in IT. I do IT by the day. I don't know if any guys you notice, but like in a lot of technologies, there's a such thing as a master and a slave, and the slave does anything the master do. And we had people bring that up in our HR or in our meeting one day, where it's like, all right, let's not use that term because that's a derogatory statement. And they checked them right there, like, you know, that's an old term. Let's use something else. Primary, secondary, you know. So it's just taking the opportunity to speak on it when it's in front of you can do that person some good if they're open-minded. But if they're just closed-minded and ignorant about it, then you have to either do what you have to do, you know, get out of that person, you know, just get them out of your way. And if they continuously want to be in your way, they unfortunately get handled some other way. But
exactly,
you
mean to include chin check?
And you know what? No, never that, because it's too easy to make an excuse for them to, you know, throw us, look at us for something simple. We're still going through right now for Ahmaud Arbery, you know, and they've dropped the charges all the way down. I mean, the way they treat that case right now, you know, you know, the jury, all white jury, you know, they're not changing the judge, not changing anything. I mean, it's just it's like watching the Falcons game. Like, they can have a 500-point lead, and we know we're gonna win this case, and there's no way they're gonna get away with this. And then you can see the enemy creeping up and pass them, and now you don't know what's gonna happen. So
exactly,
it's crazy, man.
Exactly, Rico. Let's stay in the workplace for a second. And one of your co-workers, you being who you are, and then a Caucasian, y'all have a little dispute, and they call you the N-word. Okay, you go to the supervisor. Look at here, man. You know, the dude called me blah blah blah. You know, and look here, man. You know, if you do it again, you know, it's gonna be an issue. And then he come at you or something and say, well, what do you mean it's gonna be an issue, man? You know, no, ain't gonna be no fighting in this place. He called me the N-word, and he said, well, what's the problem with that? Aren't you?
Number one, he ain't gonna even get a chance to say that. But I ain't going to human resources. Because like at the point I am now, I would probably resort to my most recent primitive form, and that's handling it myself. Because I feel like if you bold enough to say that, and I'm gonna tell you, this is what made me feel this way, is because of what happened in Jasper, Texas, with James Byrd Jr. When they got him, and you know, he knew those guys. They got him and chained him up to the back of that truck and drug him till his head came off. You know, seeing Emmett Till when I was young, and I always, when the first day I saw that, that entire night I played out the scenario of how that could have happened. I swear I put myself in that man's body. And doing that, it flipped my mind a little bit. And so now, but I feel like if you got the nerve to say that, you would try to catch me somewhere and drag me till my head came off.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna get you first. So I might make some headlines. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna do it to the point where I don't get caught. And I mean, that's just me. I ain't on here talking about it. I'm going to church like that though. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of them situations where I know that I probably won't even go to human resources because this person here ain't thinking nothing about human resources. And to be honest with you, if he could get to his truck before we leave, he might do something to me because he had enough nerve to come out his mouth and say that. So that's where we at now. It's wartime. But you know, when you asked that question about the music earlier, and you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I can listen to it, or I could be around my buddies and we, you know, talk like that. But when one of them are around and I hear my friends talking like that, I cringe. When I'm listening to music and it comes on and one of them is sitting there, I cringe. I try to act like I didn't hear it. But deep down inside, it's not because I'm embarrassed. It's because I don't want them to feel comfortable enough to say, you know what, well, I can say it. So I cringe when they're around. You get what I'm saying? But it's almost like sitting in a church parking lot playing Luke Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? I took my back seat out my car and had 415. I made sure I beat down the block. But when I would pass by a church,
turn it down. Yeah. Yeah.
When I got in front of elderly people or my elders, the people that knew me through the neighborhood, I didn't want them to hear all that cussing, F the police and this and that. I didn't want them hearing that, even though that's the way I felt. I still had to represent myself and respect them a certain way. So, you know, just like I knew it was wrong to do it then, and I knew it was wrong to sit up in that church parking lot, you know, it might get to a point where you have to sit back and say, well, you know what? If it's wrong, it's wrong, regardless of when you listening to it. And I now find myself not liking, I mean, I'm just getting to this point now where there's a lot of music I'm hearing, and I'm just like, man, I'm tired of hearing this.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Exactly. Carlos, give us some of that wisdom you got, brother. They call you out your name? Yes, sir.
Oh, they call me out my name?
Yeah, they call you out your name, man, and then you go into the office, you try to tell them, you know, look at here, man, this man called me out the name, and then he say, and the supervisor, being one of them as well, say, what's the problem? You are N-word, aren't you? How do you handle that?
I have to get on the RICO way. I think Rico already answered that one.
CNN headline news, breaking news.
There has been a mass killing down at the plant.
Oh man, I'm serious.
I was standing my ground. They attacked me first.
Exactly. But that's something, man. And you would think that stuff like that would not still happen, but then again, you would also think that if a man get beat and shot down in the streets in 2021, they would not have an all-white jury. You would think that they would not have an all in 2021. You would think that they would not have an all-white jury. Nobody that looked like the one that got killed on the jury at all. You would think that, you know, in this day and time, that can't be possible. You and somebody wrote this down. You know, you'll probably ask the question: Is this in the 1950s, 1960s? Certainly, Leonard, it could not be 2021, but yet and still, this is where we are.
It very easily becomes 2021 when I know Rico probably keeps up with it better, related to the process. When y'all go out there and live in these predominantly white areas, where do you think you're going to court at? Where do you think you're going to court at? You're going right down there where they at, which is one of the reasons why you ain't got no business acting a fool, knowing that this is the situation. From the beginning, everyone should have known what they were going to try and do and how they were going to do it, because that's the way they've been doing it. And every time a black person tries to get out of jury duty, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, we have to change the way we're living in order to make justice a reality. You can't sit a dragon on at the head of the court and two under dragons on each side and expect justice to come out of there.
Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
And where it is at, there are certain things where one, it is just proper to sometimes get special counsel or to petition the court to have the case moved somewhere else. But this was not so. We see already the individuals involved have already committed some act with other cases in the way they do things. They're racist. That's what racists do. Don't expect them to act any differently, which is why we have to get more in the way to make sure that system of racism is dismantled. Because one, what do? You don't go pay black people to come and sit on the jury, do you? No. But one, we have a process that even allows people to pick and choose who sits on the jury as opposed to it even being random. So we're the ones that are complicating justice the most. It's because we're not insisting on certain things. The activism. That's why we work so hard at changing the order of things. Now, you can do what you want to do, and you're going to wind up in a trap if you're that type of person.
Yeah.
However, racism exists. It is in full effect. And for anyone to act as if it's not, those are just people who are choosing to be ignorant.
Exactly.
Like now, one of the terms that really just make me blush when I see it now in the news and in articles, white ignorance. That's popping. That's being brought to the forefront now. How ignorant it must be to still be racist. This is a sign, really, of low education, lesser human individuals. So we have to understand this is what you're dealing with. So if you think all of a sudden the dragon gonna sit up there and want to give black folks justice out of his behind, you're wrong. It's never gonna happen.
Exactly. Wow. Man, we might have to tackle this this topic here again next week, man. In one of the squares, because there's a lot of stuff that we didn't even cover, man. That has the potential to be covered in this particular square right here. We probably should have started off with this square and we went the whole 2 hours. Really.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
I had wanted to go back when you asked that question about roots.
Go ahead.
Wow. Now, my wife is younger than me, right? She's younger than me, and she's from the South. So she had never seen Roots before. And one thing I remember, I had been reading Roots. Alex Haley, remember?
Yes.
And everybody knew, most black kids knew about Alex Haley.
Absolutely.
So, at some point, if you were, a reader, you were reading things. You knew about the racism in Huckleberry Finn and those types of things. And then it was reinforced at home. Our parents taught us about racism. Where I'm to understand that some kids or some people who were in different places, theirs was completely different. Like me and one of my very good friends who was born in the South, right here in the A. And like my wife explained, it's different when you grew up looking at that flag every day. We didn't look at that crap up north.
Exactly.
So that's a whole different experience where you went to the schools of the slave traders and these names, where you see this effort to change the names, the streets, and things of that nature. And there are some people that were people in the South came up in this environment. So their perception is going to be different.
And then are they taking those presidents or whoever those not that's on Stone Mountain. What is that? Them engravings?
No, I don't. I think what they do is they cover it up, don't they?
Well, there's been talks. There's been talks about them taking it down. Taking
yeah, I've heard of it as well, but I don't think that has a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
They should take it down. The Ku Klux Klan paid for it, right?
Yeah.
An actual natural structure, which is the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what they do. I think at some point they cover it or something. I'm not sure. I haven't been to Stone Mountain since a lot of those incidents occurred with the people showing up armed at Stone Mountain.
Well, there's a sad Stone Mountain have a sad history anyway.
Well, the Confederate cemetery and everything is right there as well.
Exactly.
I know Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
I just don't hang out up there, But I used to go. I've been fishing up there and things of that. Like I say, there is a Confederate cemetery right around the corner from where my brother used to live in the apartments, right downtown Stone Mountain. That very old cemetery that's right there. So, those are things that are here because of history. And, I like to see that the young people are moving those things and changing those names. But if you don't take more consideration to that systemic racism portion, we will have those problems. We should be able to talk about certain things and come to an agreement. That's the way we destroy racism.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, listen, y'all, I gotta go home and finish a project. I got a last minute assignment that I have to do. Have to be ready by the morning, so I gotta get on out of here, man. And been a great broadcast. I'm gonna go around right now and get everybody an opportunity to say what they want to say in their closing. Go to the phone lines first. Captain Leonard, in your closing, sir.
Sir.
In your closing.
Man, it was great. It was great to be on the show this evening. Enjoyed the comments and everything. And let's make some great memories. Let's, if we're longing for better days, let's create better days.
Exactly. Rico, in your closing, sir.
Yeah, great show. I don't want people to always be occupied with the troubles that's going on, but we do need to be aware of the trial for the death of Ahmaud Arbery, and we need to pay attention to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial too. Even though there were no black people killed in that, that's still a justice issue. Stand your ground issue, issues that we definitely need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. Mr. Carlos, in your closing, sir.
Yes, it's been great being here tonight, guys, and thank you so much for all the stimulating conversation. And I just say to the audience to keep listening in and keep being honest, being real with life, Tell it like it is.
Absolutely. And number one truth. And tell your sister I say hello, brother.
I'll be glad to do that.
Yeah, tell her I say hello. Okay. Now, as a matter of fact, Carlos, pray us out, brother.
Okay, all right, we'll do that. Let's pray. Father, we want to thank you for this day. We thank you for it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day outside. Thank you for the refreshment of it. Thank you for life, that we still have a part in it and that we have purpose. And Father, help us always to have part of that purpose to be truth. We thank you for Raheen, and thank you for Real Men Being Men. Thank you for DKM Ministries. We just thank you so very much for the audience. And we just pray that, Lord, that you would just bless us all, that we'll all be able to come back for the next time and have more insight to share and give. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and Real Men Being Men for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:03. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from Real Men Being Men. take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great evening. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.